Over on the far end of the garden there, we still have some active winter vegetables going. Peas, lettuce, carrots, cabbage, broccoli, onions, garlic, and so on. Artichokes right here in the foreground. But as for the rest of the garden this winter, I've been resting it under mostly Dutch white clover, but also under some non-dormant alfalfa. And over here, over what was the raspberry patch, I have a combination of winter rye mixed with Dutch white clover underneath. It was a later sown batch. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to mow all of this. Take down the fences and whatnot and put the power mower on it. Grind it all up in little pieces, and then I'm going to start tilling up some space for the spring garden. Just as soon as I get my carrots picked up, tops cut off, and wash them down. Here we had the carrots, broccoli, and other vegetables in the winter growing in a pure stand of clover. The artichokes, which are perennials over there, growing again in clover. This area right here next to the power mower, we had some Romanesco, and then I had one heck of a problem with the science fiction flick Radioactive Gopher from Hell, who I'm still after. That's why it's all dug up. It's from me trying to get traps down in his tunnels and so on. It's not working. I got 3 other gophers in here this winter, but not the Radioactive Gopher from Hell. He's still down there. So part of my project today is going to be, I'm going to mow down all of my cover crops out here. I'll probably leave the one standing where the raspberries were, but as for the rest of the clover that was here, I'm going to till it in after mowing it, kill it, and then we'll spread fertilizers here and get ready for the spring garden. I still have the winter garden happening over on that end. I've already pulled up my weed block. You can see it back there by the greenhouse. I took up my stepping stones and tossed them over there by the onions. I took down all my pea fences and bean poles and all that sort of stuff. Dragged it all out of the garden, and now I'm going to go out here and I'm going to ravage the landscape, first with my mower and then follow it with my tiller. Hopefully that should make it easier for me to get my gopher. Well, there we go. I got all the timber picked up out here, the stakes. I went and cleaned off all the flower pots and whatnot. Then I went through with standard lawnmower and I mowed all the vegetables. I mowed all the clover, mowed all the rye, and so everything's been mown right up to the edge of the garlic right here. Left the garlic alone, and so we still have the active winter garden over on this side of the yard. But over here I'm going to start preparing. We got some of the heavy work done, but I still have the big picture, and the big picture is the little teeny tiller over there, baby Troy-Bilt. Okay, so all mown, tiller ready to go. Well, I only made the first pass out here. I'm making a little progress. This clover holds the soil really well, and so it's going to take me a bit of tilling, but I just wanted to stop and give you a look here at the nodules left on this clover root. See the little kind of frosty white balls there? Those are the homes of a bacteria called Rhizobia that live on the roots of legumes. There's a specific one on this clover. It was inoculated when I purchased it with the bacteria, called inoculated clover seed, and nitro-coated, I believe, was the trade on it, and it had the bacteria right there ready to go. Put it in the ground, the plant starts growing. Those little bacteria get started on the roots. They make little knots on the roots there, and every time there's some change in the weather and we get a bunch of nitrogen compounds in the atmosphere like nitrous oxide, then they go ahead and start sucking that stuff up because it's heavier than air and settles down to the ground, washes in with rainwater and such, and they store it. And by killing off the clover out here right now, we're going to release a lot of nitrogen in the garden. Well, of course, those of you who buy fertilizer bags know that the first number on your fertilizer bag is nitrogen. It's what they call NPK, the 3 letters, 3 numbers on the front of your bag. This is free nitrogen right here. We're getting it right out of the atmosphere. We only paid for the seed, and of course the clover is doing double duty as far as making compost here in our ground for us. It's also holding the soil, keeping my ground from getting baked in the summer, and keeping it from washing during heavy winter rains. So there's more value to this than just a bag of fertilizer. Oh, well, it's a lovely 72-degree winter day here in March, California Bay Area. I have finished my tillage. I put my weed block mats back down in the walk rows here. And I raked things out so we can see if Mr. Gopher pops his head up out there. Well, made me feel like I was doing something at least. I hadn't really been very active in the garden lately. So now we'll give it a couple of weeks for the clover roots to rot down. See if we can dispatch that gopher. And then I'm going to get ready to start putting in the peppers, tomatoes, and all the other stuff for spring. They're all waiting over here for me in the greenhouse. Lots and lots of spring vegetables in there. You can see the flats full of tomatoes, and there's more cabbages here, and the little peppers and eggplants coming up over there. I've got a bit of cucumber on the end, and of course there's baby greens in the flats, and spinach up there in the flats. Those are just going to stay in here. I'll harvest them right off the flat with a scissor. But you know, a lot of the stuff we see sitting here with little white marker stakes, they'll be out there in the garden very soon.